Hello and welcome. This evening, what are we going to be talking about? Unimatic. Italian micro brand, very interesting, very hyped, and just recently launched 3 watches with Hodinkee. And I'm a big fan of Unimatic. Title of the video, why did they get so popular? Are they worth the hype? Okay, my opinion is going to be a bit biased, but I'm critical too. So we'll try to talk, pros and cons. I've got a guest with me today. So before introducing him, I'll run a short video on the watch that started me down my Unimatic craze.
15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Shadow. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 30 seconds. Forward drift. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue.
We're going to be busy for a minute.
Armstrong is on the moon.
Yeah,
Neil
they're off the
Armstrong.
limb now.
How cool is that, right? NASA watch, the best one around, in my humble opinion. Today, we have a friend that's joining me, Derek. Let's get him on. Hi, buddy.
How's it going?
Not too bad, and you?
Oh, good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Tell us a bit about yourself, where you are, what you do, and then we can start talking about these pesky Italians, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm Derek. I'm based in New York, but currently traveling around the U.S. just trying to make the most of remote work while it's still an option. And I do some writing for Scottish Watches and a few other online publications about this obsession of ours. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So, how did you start down your Unimatic voyage? What was the spark?
I started seeing them around. I'm trying to look up the first one that I bought was the U1 FM, which is it might have been the second one with the sterile bezel, with no markings at all on the bezel.
Okay.
And I started seeing them around on various Instagram sites and wherever we see these things. And then I just happened to go to the website one day and there were still a couple of them left, and I was like, so I pulled the trigger, and it's all been downhill from there.
Yeah. It's like that was your
because that was my entry drug, because they're I don't know how much you want to get into it yet, but they sit right in that sweet spot of like impulse buy price range, where you can see one and be like, ooh, I'll take it without regretting it too much later on.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not too expensive and not too cheap. That means it's not like $3,000 and you say, nah, it can't be an impulse buy. And it's not too cheap saying, well, I'm going to buy this like cheap piece of junk. It's in that sweet spot where you say, okay, I'm spending a few $100 and I know they're well built because, they are. The cases are fantastic. They're really well made. So it is that kind of thing where you got to catch them all, like Pokemon. You got to get them all.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of insurance built in, because you imagine, since most of them are such limited runs, you can always at least get your money back if you hate it for some reason.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was my thinking too when I started. When I got my first one, which was the watch you saw in the video before, the NASA watch. I was saying they're going to make just 50 of these. So I mean, how much money can I lose? And it was just that watch sold out in less than in a minute. It was gone. 50 pieces like that. I didn't hesitate. If I hesitated, like pressing the buy now, pay now, put your credit card information in and go like crazy, I probably wouldn't have got it. And it's been more or less like that for Unimatics since they started making their limited runs. More or less, than if it's 30 or 50 pieces, they're gonna finish pretty quickly. Some of the watch you bought, I think, then we'll talk about the Norwegian Rain or the Macenas. They sold out pretty quickly too, because I think the Norwegian Rain was really like 30 or 40 pieces or something like that. I don't remember.
I think there were two different ones. There was the stainless steel and the DLC one.
Mm-hmm.
And the stainless steel, I think, was 27, and the other one was like 39 pieces. The pieces were the ages of the two founders of Unimatic, or not of Unimatic, of Norwegian Rain.
Yeah.
So so one guy was 29 and one was 34, or something like that. But yeah, it was super limited.
Yeah. And I was gonna pull the trigger for that one too, but then the dial is really fantastic looking, but it's not that go anywhere, wear everyday watch. I think it's a bit special, something probably that I wouldn't have worn much, and I wear my other ones a lot more. But it's I don't know, but it's a great watch. I mean, you can say anything you will about it, but the dial's pretty special. I'll try and pull up an image a bit later because it really deserves to be seen. Anywho, so let's start looking at. I've got all my Unimatic collection out, so let's see them in the flesh first, the ones I have, and talk a bit about them, and then we can go and check out some of the older models or the limited edition ones. So let's go. Okay, this is my there we go, 5-piece collection. Bought and never sold. Never have sold any of them. So for now, anyway. And when I start needing money for food, I'll probably start selling some of them when I run out of money completely. So from the left, this is the Hodinkee U2. This is the NASA U1. This is another U1. The U1 is the diver watch. It's U1 EM with the sterile bezel and the cutout hour markers. This is the U3, the chrono Apollo-Soyuz. This is a space-themed watch as well, because both the founders of Unimatics are two space nuts. So they did a couple. This is the two space watches in one collection. I mean, that's pretty bad, not too bad. And this is the one you can't read the time on, which is the Spongebob, which is completely useless. Absolutely.
You can't read the time on it or see SpongeBob on it.
You can't see SpongeBob on it. Or you can't. I mean, if you look really hard, if you put a light to it, I'll do it now for just for the sake. If you put a UV light to it, you can see the indices, but you can't see SpongeBob because they made him like this shade of dark gray on a black dial. Now, okay, I'm sure there was a reason for that because, designers are crazy and Giovanni is really crazy. And that's a good thing because, see what comes out. Great, thank you. But I think he must have had sort of change of heart because the other two SpongeBobs they did, one was like bright yellow with SpongeBob in yellow in color on the dial, and another one was with a loomed SpongeBob. So he was in loom. At least you could see him, at night. So I don't know. This must have been like the experiment, and then they said, "Yeah, okay, let's make him a little bit more visible." And so people
somehow that one snuck through QC, and nobody noticed that you couldn't see anything.
Okay, it's like okay. It's not the only watch you can't read the time on. I mean, how many are them? Just say a couple.
That's
come
fair.
off. I mean, what the Casio? There's like the whole full black Casio and the Moser. What is it? The Vanta Black watch. Either you can't see it. It's more expensive than this. So let's have a quick look at them. Okay, just move these out the way. The Hodinkee piece. Let's zoom in a bit. Yes, if I can find the right button. There we go. Okay, Hodinkee Grey. One of the Hodinkee Greys, anyway, I suppose. And nice California dial. This is my first California dial watch. Didn't like it. Didn't like the idea at first because it was like confusing, looking up and down. Like, what's it? Roman? Oops, Arabics. But I think it kind of works on this watch. And solid finishing, very fine brushing. Profile's pretty unique. This kind of, sloping, getting larger and smaller. It looks like a, I don't know, like a an elongated
It looks like
eye.
a 1950s flying saucer.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. UFO. Look at that. Great. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just hold it up to like some stars on the profile view, and you got it. It's an old movie poster.
I'm going to ask Giovanni if that was his inspiration. It could be, you know. He's a sci-fi guy too, so that's the back of it.
Yeah,
Whoops.
could be.
And it's got some, I don't know. Every back is different, got different, you know, jargon on it. And big crown, solid movement. This actually is the first Unimatic with Swiss movement, because all the other ones have like NH35s, and the chrono has a mech quartz in it, which is actually not a bad little movement. So there goes one. I'm going to be very briefly on the SpongeBob, all black, except for the back. Okay, and there you go. Can't see the time there. Useless. This is the Apollo-Soyuz. Absolutely useless. Why did I buy it? And yeah, whatever. This is the Apollo-Soyuz with the mech quartz. Doesn't have a running seconds. You liked that, didn't you? Because you're a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say. I think that's the best mecha quartz that I've had, due to the fact there's no ticking second hand, so you can't even tell.
Yeah, so it's just like any other watch. I don't know. They got this little gimmick, a rotating tack bezel. I mean, okay, what's the use?
And it's unidirectional too, right?
And it's
Which
unidirectional.
Also doesn't make any sense.
So I'm thinking, okay, fine, nice gimmick, but I'm not going to be turning that very much. But otherwise, looks fine. I mean, got like screw down pushers. Let's look at the profile there. Sloping lugs, and a solid watch. I mean, I can't convey this over video, but you really have to pick one up in your hands and feel. I would say it's close to Tudor-like quality. It is. I'll get a lot of shit for that, but I think it is. Because I like Tudor too, so I have 4 of those as well, so I can tell. And this one's pretty nice. I like the way they did the dial with the hole in the middle, those hula hoop kind of indices there. And this isn't a Unimatic strap, by the way. This is just some junk I picked up on Amazon. And last but not least, the NASA piece, which coated in ceramic. They say Cerakote. It's this ceramic coating, and they kind of they bang it up a bit. So where is it? Let's put it in the middle. So it's pre-worn, like stonewashed jeans.
Yeah. I was going to ask if it came that way, because in the video you could see the one in the video looked a little bit worn as well. So I guess that's how they come.
Actually, Giovanni told
me.
It's
like it's already been to space.
Exactly, it's been to space. It's got micrometeorites of like hit it and everything. It's already done its job. And Giovanni told me how they do this. They get the watch. They coat it completely, like it comes out like new. Then they get all the cases, they put them in this rotating drum with ball bearings in it, and every watch gets a different kind of treatment. Every case gets hit in a different way, so they kind of they put it in a tumble dry with ball bearings, and that's this is the result. So no, I think it's pretty cool. Looks great, nice dial. I'll give it a little loom shot because I think it deserves a loom shot. This actually has the best loom of all the Unimatics I have. So I'm going to just shut the lights off. Does that go? Turn off, please. Boom. Yeah. Not so bad, okay? I mean,
pretty good.
That's good. That's good for, I mean, that's nice green radioactive glow. And it lasts through the night. I think it's the best of the lots. I mean, the SpongeBob has little to no loom. The Chrono's okay. Let's look at this Hodinkee. I didn't test, I haven't. Let's have a look at that. Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not a big Loom tester, so I can't say which ones are better or which ones are worse.
Let's put them close beside each other. Let's see. I think this one, the Hodinkee has blue loom, so it's not as strong as the green loom. We probably see that in the shot, which is out of focus. No, there you go. Yeah, it is a little weaker, just a bit.
A little bit.
Just a bit weaker. I mean,
it might also be that there's just less loom material due to it being the digits and not big pips.
Yeah, they have to like. I mean, and I'm not sure how they do that, but they put layers of loom, so basically it's probably easier to do it on a round. These are not applied markers; they're just painted on. So there's probably a limit to how much loom you can do. In a certain.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, let's get the lights back on because can't see it.
Scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. Scared of the dark. So let's see what you're wearing.
I am wearing one of the other Hodinkee limited editions. This is the diver one, which is the U1H.
Yep.
And just to talk a little bit about the Hodinkee ones, you could say whatever you want about Hodinkee, but I think their collaborations with brands have been pretty spot on over the years, and I can't think of a single one that wasn't good. And maybe I'll take shit for that. I'm sorry. I'll take crap for that. But even this one, so I find that the thing that Hodinkee does a lot of the time with the limited editions is they'll make a no date version of a watch that only exists in a date version, which always appeals to me as a big no date guy.
Okay.
But Unimatics already didn't have dates, so the thing that they did here was kind of solve the only problem that I found with any other Unimatics is they're just a little bit on the thicker side, and I think they solved it with the Sellita movement versus the Seiko movement, because it's about, what is it, a couple millimeters thinner.
It is, yes.
And it makes a bigger difference than you would think when you think about millimeters. But yeah, it's nice and svelte, and I think they did a good job.
Did you actually? I don't have. I can't actually compare because I don't have another one of these U2s, so I can't really say. But you have other dive watches, so you can tell the difference, because it's something you can.
I don't. Yeah, I don't have any of them on me, so I can't show it to you. But it is definitely, just looking at it on the wrist, and I did when I first got it. I held them up side to side, and it is noticeably. Not noticeably, but it is thinner. Like, you can tell, and you can tell when you're wearing it too that it's not doesn't quite have that bulk that Unimatics normally have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knows if this Sellita thing is going to be something for the future. We'll see if Unimatic decides to upgrade their future releases to Swiss, because that was one. If you remember, I mean, one of the big criticisms that Unimatic got in the beginning is that they were selling watches in the $500, $600, $700 territory, and they only had Seiko NH35s in them, which is by a cheap movement by any means. It's not it's the most ubiquitous probably automatic movement, and it's probably solid. I think it's a reliable movement, if not a very precise movement. I mean, it's like they have tolerances, silly tolerances, like +40 and -35 or something like that. I mean, like, okay, anytime. Get a minute a day.
Yeah.
But I think the Sellitas should have tighter tolerances. I didn't put mine on the... Oh, I should have bought... I forgot to take out my watch, what's it called, the time grapher, but I didn't put it to the time grapher, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be better than +30 or +40 seconds a day. I'll do that.
It should be, and I understand people take an exception to the price hike, because people know that a Seiko NH35 movement costs about $30.
No less,
if you just buy the movement by itself, and then they're charging $400 for a watch. Go ahead, sir.
I say, if we buy it, it's $30. If Unimatics buys 1,000 of them, it's going to be a whole lot less.
Right, but now they put a Sellita movement in it, but they've also upped the price a decent amount. You've gone from $550 to $800 So it's still about the same percentage markup if somebody wants to do the math on that.
Yeah, more or less.
But
Yeah.
I imagine you'll get a lot less people complaining about it just because it is a Swiss movement versus the cheap, Japanese movement.
Yeah, but this honestly, probably from a technical standpoint, I don't think there's probably not much difference between a Solita and a Seiko NH35. If you go and just dismantle it, they're both good movements. The Seiko just doesn't regulate them when they get out the assembly line. So all of the movements that come out on Seikos, the higher, to put it this way, higher grade automatics that they use in maybe their Presage lines or the more expensive Prospexes or whatever's that have tighter tolerances. I mean, basically, it's the same exact movement. There's just a watchmaker that's, testing it more before it goes off the assembly line. That's the only difference, I suppose. So, Swiss made or Swiss movement is just one way to make things more, more expensive, more costly, but probably, I mean, Solita, they make the hundreds of thousands of movements, I suppose. So, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, the only real recognizable difference, besides being a little bit thinner, is the higher frequency, because the Solitas are 28.8, whereas the Seikos are 21.6. So you do notice a little bit smoother, sweep of the second hand. So if that's a thing that's important to you, then now you can have a Unimatic with a smooth hand as well.
Yeah, you can if you put a Solita beside or a 28,800 beats to a 31,600. What is it? No, the Seiko is 3 hertz, so it's 21.
Seiko's 21.6.
So you can notice the difference if you put them beside one another. Even if you look at it by itself, you can see the hand, it just ticks, a bit more.
Yeah, it's a little stuttery.
It's a little stuttery, but apart from that, I suppose it's not a big deal. I suppose it is a watch. It is a watch nerd thing. I mean, we're watch nerds. We look at that spring drive. Look at that! Wow, it's so smooth.
Look how smooth it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I gotta say, I do enjoy. When I look at this one, I like the smoother hand. So I have a few other NH35 movements besides the Unimatic, and I don't know, like you said, it's at the end of the day, they're all telling the same time. They're probably within similar tolerances, but there is something, and I think I'm just conditioned to think it, but there is something about the stutteriness that feels a little less fancy for some reason.
Yeah, like a quartz, which the one tick is like, oh, that's quartz. That's like.
Yeah, right. Even though it tells better time,
much better time. Yeah,
I think we're all brainwashed about all this stuff. So.
Yeah, we're crazy. We should get our heads checked. Heads checked because I mean, there is a level of nerdiness for every hobby, that goes from like 0 to 1 billion. So I think I'm kind of in the middle there. I'm not completely crazy, but I may get there in my old age, I suppose. Okay, let's have a look.
It's only going to get worse.
Well, yeah, it will. I'm sure it will. Let's have a look at some of the. Let's have a look. So this is the current Unimatic collection. Let's see if we can have a look at. Whoops, where's my mouse? There we go. So this is the current diver. It's not available as far as I know yet. There it says pre-order now. Okay, 525 euros. Shipping from the 15th of September. So they, this is what the, as you can see, they haven't changed much. I mean, there it is. This is what they're calling the permanent.
So Gigi, I was going to say, do you want to preface this for anybody who doesn't know with like this is that new permanent collection and why they're doing that?
Yeah, why they're doing that. I mean, I don't know, but I think that it's mostly to appease people. We were discussing before that the Unimatics basically you can never get one. They were never on the site because the site was always sold out. The only way you could actually get one is if you lived like in Milan, where there are like 3 or 4 watch shops that sell Unimatics. So you'll be able to find some stock there. They usually, like, if they make, I don't know, 200 watches, they probably keep a certain amount for the sale on the website, and they give like, I don't know, 10 watches, 5 watches, whatever the watch shops will buy to physical brick and mortar shops. So once those are gone, so if you're living in the States, or even if you don't live in the States, if you're living like outside Milan or outside Italy, you can only buy online. And they were always off. They never had any. So that was pretty like depressing if you wanted one. This way, it looks like they're going to be able to satisfy more customers. Probably they will keep them limited production in the sense that they will keep the collection going for like a month, 2 months, a year, whatever, and then make something new. And I'm very sure, I'm absolutely sure that they will keep on doing collaborations and limited editions as well, because that's their bread and butter. That's what keeps the interest alive in the brand. So these look pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean,
go.
Sorry, I agree. I see it as a way to appease, pretty much kind of trying to appease everybody, because like you said, they're impossible to get. They show up on the website, and usually within 10 minutes they'd be sold out. The Hodinkee ones at a production run of like 5 times the amount of normal, and they still all sold out within, like, what was it, like an hour?
Less
hour
than
and a half?
less than 3
like
hours. It was like 2 hours, 45 minutes, but it was 1,500 watches. So I mean, that's pretty quick for close to 2,000 watches.
Yeah, and without fail, anytime I've ever been in a forum reading about any of the Unimatic releases, there are half the posts will be people that just seem frustrated and be like, "Oh, I don't understand why anybody wants these. You can never get them anyways." Like, people are just annoyed with the same like they are with Ming and with other brands where things launch and then sell out immediately. So I think the permanent collection is a way to have something available to anyone who hasn't heard about Unimatic until now, and then they pop over there and like, oh, they can actually buy one. What a nice treat. Yeah,
that's I'm sure that was their reasoning. And I mean, like, and it's also, I think it makes sense to make these they're calling them classic. That's what they're calling them. And just show you up here, U2 classic, U3 classic. So they are classics. So they're not going to be fancy, or they're just going to be plain timeless, to use timeless, timeless design without too many bells and whistles that won't grow old over time. So yeah, I think that this is the best that they could have done, and I'm curious to see what their next collabs are. I think I'm gonna have to pop over to Unimatic HQ and get a sneak peek. They do sometimes show me what they've got in the pipeline, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. So.
Of course.
But it's nice to see something. I already saw like 5 or 6 prototypes. Let's call them prototypes, pre-production or ideas they will have, and some of them are pretty nice. And I'm not sure that all of them will go into production, but we'll see. Anyway, just have a look what else we've got here. Let's look at the archive. The archive is pretty interesting. So.
Last thing I want to say about the permanent collection idea is it'll be interesting. I mean, we'll never hear these numbers, but it'll be interesting to see how many people buy them. Because, as much as you want to complain about the exclusivity and the limited edition of them, I think that is kind of the appeal sometimes, right? Is that it's a thing that there's only 50 of these and it's really cool and I have one of them. If it was unlimited, it loses a little bit of its imagined status, I would think.
Yeah, that's that's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought of that. So what you're doing is basically there's no way. I think there's no way to completely satisfy a watch nerd. It's either, oh crap, I can't buy the watches. Oh crap, I mean they're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean we essentially
where's the middle ground?
To all be available. We want them all to be available to us, but to nobody else.
Yeah. That's like I said, we need help. So check archive. So let's see the archive, because most of the old models, let's put it that way, were on the dive watch, I think. just to give you an idea of, you know, some of the livelier ones. Let's have a look. Yeah, these are pretty depressing. Black, black, more black, gray, black, black. Okay, these are the ones I like. If I found one of these, this one is like, I've actually seen this in the flesh because they do have one of these at Unimatic HQ. I'm just a sucker for orange things. I mean, I put the orange strap on my new. As soon as I got the Hodinkee, I just put an orange strap on it, and I think this one is just looks fantastic. Whoops, where is it?
That is cool.
Yep, orange, big dot. They have like big, oversized markers on this one as well. It doesn't. You can notice because some of them, if you compare it to one of the other Unimatics, the markers are a lot bigger. So let's go back. This another one which I like a lot is the Mr. Porter, which is this one over here.
Yeah, that's a good looking one.
This is that's great, doesn't it? I mean, they made only 30 of these, I think. Let's just check this out. Oh, 100. No, okay.
No, this is 100.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's okay, but I think that's pretty. I mean, it's just, you know, colors, but it's a great color. I mean, look at that. Fine, lovely, lovely, lovely. I actually was I was scouring. I actually had a bid on one of these on eBay, but I lost it. I didn't pay up enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh please, but I'm not the guy to go there and just overbid. Then, you know, just to get the watch, because it can be dangerous on eBay if you like put $1,000 in. Okay, whoa, you can get stung. So yeah. I put in what I wanted to pay, and that's it. This is the one you have, right?
Yeah,
no. Okay.
I almost bought that first Messina one as well, but I was like, oh, I'll wait a few minutes, and then it was sold out, so I got in on the second one.
I had.
It's cool. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I exactly the same. I kind of hesitated, and then I didn't buy it, and then it was gone. So talk to us about this watch. I mean, this is like blue, but not the same blue. Okay, it's different to the one you saw before.
Yeah, the way they explained it was it's inspired by the old French Navy watches, the Marine Nationale, which, you know, the Tudor made watches for in the 60s, 70s.
Yes.
So it has that kind of faded blue color, and I don't think they explained like the process of making the dials, but they explained that due to the process, all of them would be slightly different. Like some of them are a deeper blue, some were more slightly green or more faded blue, and they also hand painted all the loom plots, which is kind of a nice touch. You can tell that under a loop that they're a little bit imperfect, which I don't know why that's something that I like, but I do.
It gives it character, right? Even the dials, if they're not all the same. And it was the case for the first Messina as well. That was galvanized copper, and that was kind of electroplated. I don't know. So the process of electroplating gave a different hue to each dial. So that can be a bugger, because I mean, brown, that's a difficult color. I mean, if you get the wrong shade of brown, so that was one of the reasons why I hesitated, because if I got a brown I didn't like, and I would have to send it back. I could have done that, but I would have to send it back to the USA. That would have cost me a lot of money. So
it's true.
Yeah, I didn't pull the trigger on that one. So anyway, and let's have a look at some more. Oops, go back here. So, let's look at the sponge. That's the SpongeBob #1. Okay, can't see anything on it. This is another one where basically to read the time, you need like to hold a seance or something. Like, you know, get a Ouija board and ask for the time. At least this has some half decent loom, and this one like disappeared as well. This is another collaboration with a Japanese designer. They're into Japs. They're a lot into Japan. So was it the name? Unpronounceable Japanese name.
That was one that I saw, and I was like, yeah, I can probably do without that one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Look at that. I mean, they made a bundle of them. Look at that. Okay, so let's go on to the fun ones. Okay, this one I can do without. Okay, let's have a look. Good old SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean, okay, here you can. I think here you can definitely see SpongeBob. It's not a problem.
I think so. Yeah.
Look at that.
Do you know what is their, since you know the Unimatic guys, what is their deal with SpongeBob? Why are there so many SpongeBob watches?
Because Giovanni, he grew up with SpongeBob, so it's it's his childhood.
So he just likes SpongeBob.
He just likes SpongeBob. I mean, he's a lot younger than me. I mean, I didn't grow up with SpongeBob. I grew up with, what did I see? Like Scooby-Doo and I don't know, older stuff. So I'm not a fan of SpongeBob. I'm not a fan because I don't like him. I just don't know. I've never seen. I only see like maybe just a few cartoons, but I just well, the good thing about my SpongeBob is that you can't see him. So there you go. I mean, if you don't like if you don't like SpongeBob, that's the SpongeBob watch to get. Oops, no, but the other way. I need to go back. There we go. And this was the I think they launched these at the same time. Let's have a look. This is this SpongeBob here. Yeah, this is like oh wow. This is the Loom Spongebob. Okay, this one you can see better at night. It will haunt you in your sleep. But no, not for me. Not for me. And okay, so here's your other one. Which one did you get? The one with the bracelet or the one with those? Which of the two?
I got the bracelet one.
Yeah, you did.
And the nice thing about it, is that it's the standard U1 case. So the bracelet fits any of my previous Unimatics if I wanted to.
That's good.
So yeah, that's what I was saying before. This one was an edition of 39, and then the DLC one was 54, which is the respective ages of the Norwegian Rain fellows. So yeah, it's really cool. So the dial was a process of rapidly aging copper so that it gets that that look of copper that's been outside for 20 years with all the green I don't know what's the word. Oxidization.
Yeah. Rust.
Yeah.
Copper rust.
Right. Essentially rust. And it's like you were saying about the brown dial, it's a little bit hit or miss. Mine is not quite as green and vivid as the one in the photos. Mine has a little bit more brown to it. Mm-hmm. But there's only 39 of them. It's not as though I could return it for a different one. So
no way, you held on.
But it's still really cool. It's one of the more interesting watches in my collection for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of these bracelets as well because they have that adjustable part on them, kind of diver extension kind of thing that you can micro adjust, which is pretty cool. I have another watch with that, and I like it a lot. It's really useful in the summer. But
just fair warning, I don't think it fits on the Hodinkee ones due to the slimness of the new cases.
I've only got one of the Hodinkee ones. All the other ones just standard, so I can basically use them. Can I use them on the chrono? Could you use it on the chrono as well? Did you try it on the chrono?
I haven't tried it, but as I remember reading that you can, that it fits all of them. The models 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
So that's probably gonna be on my shopping list soon. And there we go. This is another another collab they did, but I've just don't even know who these guys are. Undefeated. What is it?
I think it's a streetwear clothing company, from what I understood.
Yeah, Undefeated. Yeah.
And I was also close to buying that one just because I thought it looked cool, but they added a date and they lost me.
I mean, yeah, and you know what? Because they
can't do it.
You can't. I mean, also, it's just the way they did this is they color matched the date window too. So it looks like you've got an Arabic numeral at 6. That if it may not be the date. It's like 8. What's an 8 doing at the 6th position? And they go nuts. That's me. I mean. What's the 8 doing there? They got it wrong. So no, yeah. I'm not a big fan of dates.
It would only be correct once a month, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Not ever as well. Yeah, because apart from
only on the 6th.
Only on the 6th. Yeah. Let's go back a bit. Let's see if there's. I want to just look at another couple of the number 2 Modello 2. There's one I really wanted to get. Oh, these are the classic. This is the origin of Unimatic. So you can see the dial shape is is not the dial, sorry, the case shape is hasn't changed, but the dial is very different. It's much.
But are you saying that they produced the Model 2 before the Model 1?
No, I think they came out about the same time. But as you can see, this number 2 dial here, I mean, it's just completely different. Even the hands are different. They don't have those ladder hands. They just got like fence post normal hands. So that was that's what they looked like. They were much simpler, probably, but I liked them. I would have if I had my way, and if I'd known about Unimatic. This is the green dial. It's a dark green. I think that looks pretty cool with this brown kind of tanned leather strap. But they're nowhere to be found, unfortunately. And, if you go on Chrono, you do get the occasional Unimatic, but not these. I think these are they're just where they are, they're there to stay. The one I did like a lot was this one here. And you can only buy this in Japan, and they wouldn't ship overseas. So I went to the length, but in the end, I didn't do it. I had a friend who's Japanese, and she was going to Japan in summer. Said, "Can you get me one?" But in the end, I didn't want to trouble her. So in the end, I just said, "No, just leave it." I didn't want to hassle her that much. But this is great. I have this orange market because it's orange. Anywhere there's orange, take my money, take it.
Is that case is green?
It's green. It's Cerakote. It's the same material that they put on the NASA case, and then it's got it's been through the tumble dryer with ball bearings as well. But I love the orange indices, the orange loom, not orange loom, but just orange before it turns into loom, and it's got a very dark green. I've seen it in the flesh because, like I said, Unimatic has one each, and I said, God, no, I wish I'd bought it. But I would have. Yeah,
that's a cool one.
It's a cool one. Yeah, it's also the designer. What's his name? And Nigel. It's an English designer who works basically mostly in Japan. And that was it with 2 straps, orange and blue. There you go. There's Unimatic for you. So I think we've bored people enough. Let's kind of close this. And so, do you think these Unimatics are worth the price and the hype? What do you think?
I definitely think so. I mean, like you said, they're super well built. I'll leave you on your own with that comparison to Tudor quality, but they're definitely up there. And most of them until they upgrade the movements are around 500 US, which is a pretty solid price for a super solid watch that's probably going to outlast me for sure. And all the collaborations, even if they're not for you, they're all interesting and they're all pretty well done. So you can kind of, if one comes up and you're like, that doesn't really do it for me, rest assured there'll be another one within 3 or 4 months. And it kind of makes it a fun game of sorts, just kind of waiting to see what comes out next. And you compared it to Pokemon before, but trying to see if you can catch the next one, so to speak. But all the hype and that aside, they at the core they are just a solid tool watch, with a workhorse movement and a good build quality. And you can't really go wrong, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with you on what you said, and it's I think they are worth the price, even if they are worth the. Let's put it differently. They're worth the price for a watch enthusiast. That makes more sense, probably. It probably wouldn't be worth the price if you're not, because if you're not a watch enthusiast, you'll pay $7,000 or $8,000 for a Rolex because it's a Rolex and you can get one or not get one, of course, just making a comparison. But if you don't care about watches, but you want to buy something which is a status symbol, you won't buy Unimatic, of course, right?
No, probably not.
Yeah, but if you are a nerd,
I mean, it might be a status symbol at a very specific watch meetup, or something like that. But nobody's going to come up to you on the subway and be like, "Hey, nice Unimatic."
Because if you got a Rolex, somebody's going to come up on the subway and mug you. So you know it's safer than
Right.
it's safer than a Rolex.
It's a different problem.
And but I think it will be interesting to see what the future holds for them, because I think it's early times. They've only been around for like 5 or 6 years. I mean, it's anybody's guess if they really do explode into like them. I think they've already blossomed. Okay, so it's kind of they are getting known in the watch community, and Hodinkee's giving them a lot of press and let's call it fame. But I'm curious to see where they're going to go from here, and it's going to be interesting. I think they deserve it. They really, when you get to know Giovanni, and he's a guy that's, he makes watches the way he wants to make them. He doesn't make them for a market. What he said was, okay, you want to buy my watch, buy it, but don't tell me how to make it. Because once I said, "Oh, please, please, please make a dial with orange, I don't know, an orange dial and red numerals, or an orange case or something," and he says, he goes like that. I'm not sure I want to do that. So I'll sell, and if you want to buy them, buy them. If you don't want to buy them, don't. I'd rather have a client who have clients who really like my stuff and buy it, which is what's happening, because and not buy it because it's okay, they're famous or whatever. Let's just buy the Unimatic. So that's I think that's a good way of doing things. It's they're true to their design, to their design mentality, to their design language, and I hope it pays off for them. It's paid off until now, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Seems like it's going pretty well, and as long as they don't take any, drastic left turns.
Yeah,
seems
exactly.
Like they have a pretty decent future built up so far.
Yep. Anyway, so this has been us, Gigi from Milan. Time to talk watches, and whoops, no, the other way. There we go. That side.
Derek from New York. Derek Hager on Instagram. If you get bored.
Time to talk watches on Instagram and on YouTube. If you like what you've seen, please like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Check out my Instagram feed. It's coming back to life. It was dead for a while. Now I'm posting again. And that's it. Thanks for joining. Hope to be back soon. Maybe with Derek, I don't know, talking about something else, or by myself. We'll see. And see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.